This is me, and this is my kitchen. Let me so that you do not see outside my kitchen walls. Hi. Oh, and it did not go the way it's supposed to do. तो ना ये है कि हम क्या करने वाले हैं आज हमने क्या किया आज हम अभी हम चाय बना रहे हैं चाय बहुत बढ़िया बन चुकी है ये बना दिया जाए दिस आल्सो शोज द अमाउंट ऑफ हाँ तो बेसिकली मेकिंग चाय but today I have been thinking about a lot of things. Uh, Majority of those are around attention words only. I'll just be back with thoughts. ये मैंने देखा है कि जब भी मैं बोलने लगता हूँ ना सो आई कैन टॉक इफ यू आस्क मी अ क्वेश्चन आई कैन गिव यू एन आंसर बट इफ आई हैव टू टॉक जस्ट to give a talk beyond any specific topic it is difficult for me to sleep speak I don't know why is that I can think of course why is that so the thing is you know I just saw a video on मुझे लगता है दिमाग स्टॉल ना करता ही उस एल्गोरिदम पे है कि दुनिया को क्या बताना है क्या नहीं बताना है because there are things that you cannot tell the world and that makes your brain stall so if you start living a life which you can share with everyone then it becomes so freaking easy to share your life experiences with people like it's freaking easy otherwise you keep getting hacked. So the problem with me and what makes me unbearable for people is that I keep obsessing about attention wars. And I have been making super uninteresting videos about me obsessing about attention wars, which are unbearable to watch. But that's the thing. And I made a mess of my kitchen because that's what I do. I make a mess of things. Uh, so what have I been fixating upon? I saw a video on the there's like a street where richest people live in New York, sort of the billionaire row they call it, and then like super sleek towers of super expensive apartments which make no sense. If you geometrically think of it, housing the most number of people, giving them the highest amenity. Instead of that, it's just this is just creation of a status symbol. What is the next status symbol that we can sell to people? Uh, so which is exactly contrary to what attention verse is about. Attention verse is about realizing that sort of the future is of abundance and by locking ourselves into this dynamics of secrecy and scarcity we are only limiting ourselves तो काफी बेवकूफी भरा है ये but हाँ and so that is why I believe कि ना attention words will be a fundamental now I need to decide the bite size also I think 5 minutes or whatever time it takes me to cook whatever I'm cooking is the right amount of bite size. So I was saying that I would want to uh, do videos, and that should also record my daily experience of this shit I keep on doing. Yesterday I was not able to meet my targets fully, but I was able to approach my targets significantly, so that made me happy. But then today I'm not working on my targets, and I'm still not in my thoughts. That does not make me happy. uh what else? So I fundamentally believe else will be a very big thing. Else, the only thing that I believe is stalling me for like going 100% into else is I know there will be dependencies, but which will be solved. The one thing I need to prove right now, if I see myself from an outside perspective, is I haven't released a product for a year now, well, almost a year now, and that's kind of shit, man. For a tech guy who's running a tech team and creating a lot of experimental tech is one thing, but eventually you need to bring production things out. And so our major, and it's something even I have done from quite some time. And the last production release I would have made would be like 6 8 months back. So the one thing I need to do right now is to focus on a production release. Once I'm able to go through and achieve a production release, then I can talk about other things, but other things are extremely dependability. One dependability about else is it needs a lot of content. It needs a lot of content, and yeah, man, it does need a lot of content. And what else is in my projection? Uh, Solving the finances for it long term, so I can in my head see it becoming a cash guzzler. And the most important thing about an Indian words is we want to reduce the cash dependency about where creating structures. I think structures fundamentally have value, and either structures fundamentally have value, or basically innovation fundamentally creates value, or then there is like storytelling evoking emotion creates a value. So I think the trifecta of these three. What was the first one? Structure. So yeah, I think the previously the value was created and actually captured through secrecy and scarcity. Scarcity. That is these are the things I think I have an issue with. And there's some value associated with utility, but if there is abundance and utility, you don't end up paying value for it. So actually, the only claim to value was structure, scarcity, and secrecy. If you have a given rate of innovation, so you can always open source a present what you're at the present, or like in some cases where production is hard with some delay. But the thing is, you can always public or almost public with some delay, and you don't need to rely on sequence. That reduces the amount of repetition the world has to go through. And on a very large scale, you are just closing this loop, where so many central nervous systems can just now imitate what you're doing, and train their neural networks, and give you better outputs. And effectively, if we are the epitome, localized epitome, if you so to it, if you will, of cosmic energy, then this is the easiest way of exposing problems to that cosmic energy, and then leveraging the structures we've already created, our technologies, our languages, our tools, to move forward with the problems which we face. How do we decide what problems we face? We decide problems by random sampling. Random sampling reality, that part is not captured, and I think that part should be a part of else is fundamentally surprises. So else will start a campaign where you just your phone pings you, and you just need to like go on, click a picture, make a video, whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying. So you can share whatever what point you were doing, whatever you were, and it's like purely random, at least to the amount of people who hold mobile phones. And this will also give us the idea of the kind of people who have else, so that kind of built in the bias. So we already have the macro picture of the world, so but then we can have a deeper picture of the world, and which is more relatable, and then we can which will make our empathic reciprocity, you know, enable us to work on it. Uh, just when I discussed attention words with my friends, I went around, talking to my friends about it. Two, three things I realized: I do not have access to as much attention as I would want. So they really don't go deep into what I'm saying. A couple of reasons for that. One could be I have said a lot of things I would do and I've not done that. And then it's like engaging in conversation for conversation's sake, and that would very deep, intense conversation, which is kind of tiring, especially for a person who has a real job. So, oh man, that would have hurt. The second part is that they wanted the message to be simple, and when they realized like the people around the world will be people like them, and they cannot relate with the message. So yes, I realized I need to simplify the message, and that's to a certain extent that's why I've been working with visuals, and that's why else is coming before cerebro. So cerebro will be the kind of thing which is for more active engagement of the world, where you can just you know put your projections, and your projections can consciously swim in the universe of data. So then that will be eventually linked to the order, which is like the business intelligence end. The else is more about, it's more passive, it's more expressive, it's more random, and it's more around discovery, it's more about serendipity. You can just sort of deep dive, and you can eventually go into things, but yeah, it's about that. And then see more button, see more button. Should there be one button? Should be the multiple buttons? What the multiple buttons should do? Should it directly link you to the main source, or should it link you to the 30-minute version of the source and like this 1 hour version of the source? Because people, you know, need that. And then the second thing that came up to me is I would need to create another way for the fundamental. There are a lot of bona fide sources, so I need to go deeper and think about what are people doing. What's the answer to that? People are doing value creating things in all facets humanity requires, and I'm going to reimagine that. And but still, the world works now, and everyone is doing the part they're supposed to do. So we are going to pick what everyone is doing, and we are going to connect them better, and enable them to be better at whatever they are doing, and ability to capture a pie of ownership of the world that will be a world of abundance. Until unless someone says there's no time of abundance to be, which is very foolish, because humanity in the visible universe is the epitome of life, and we have the onus of expanding life through the universe, at least the observable one, through the chemistries and physics we can crack. So yeah, we need to spread life. And survival, I think, should be solved, should be treated as a solved problem. We need to implement it better so that it's treated as a solved problem. We need to go better into medical diagnosis. We need to go better into any psychological issues, any accidents that happen, and eventually scientifically and through intelligent systems avoid all of those. So zero deaths should be one of our targets. One day that will be true, but eventually this is not something you can do on a regular basis. So yeah. तो मैं क्या कर रहा था, मैं अभी ना ये कर रहा हूँ, मैं अपना, अब मैंने सोचा कि मैं खाना बनाया करूँगा, और खाना बनाते टाइम या चाय बनाते टाइम I'll just give a feedback. So I have a log of O, और plus I also connect with feedback to, मैं थोड़ी, एक तो मतलब 3-4 टारगेट है. एक तो मैं अपनी लैंग्वेज सिंप्लीफाई करना चाहता हूँ. The language in which I finally we agree on that. एक साल से I know that, but again it was not a priority. ठीक है, तो वो है, तो मैं बेसिकली 5-10 मिनट की वीडियो बनाना चाहता हूँ, थोड़ी ह्यूमन कि मैं क्या खाना बना रहा हूँ, ताकि मैं अपने परिवार को भेज सकूँ, कि आज मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मेरी एम्प्लॉय मतलब मेरी लाइफ की स्ट्रगल क्या चल रही है, जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ उसमें, प्लस मैं खाना क्या बना रहा हूँ। तो वो जो क्वेश्चन जो हम फोन कॉल में होता है ना, आई गिव देम अ वीडियो वर्जन ऑफ मी,
They still want to have. They will still want to have.
नहीं, I will converse with them, but then they can watch and they'll have the links to it and they can watch them in free time. So they'll know what's
नहीं
up with
करेंगे.
me. हाँ वो ना करें, but still I'll know finally they do or not. चलो 15 minutes done. It's end of stream.